The movie is Hoppers, which was written by Jesse Andrews and directed by Daniel Chong. This animated film follows Mabel, a college student and animal activist who is desperately trying to preserve a local glade serving as an animal habitat after learning Mayor Jerry is planning to run a new highway through the area. When Mabel learns of scientists that discover a way to transfer human consciousness into these incredibly lifelike robotic animals, she uses this new technology to uncover the mysteries of the animal world and to help save the glade. Right off the rip, I have to give a shout out to commenter The Botman for recommending this film to me. I honestly don't think I would have seen it without your recommendation. Partially because Pixar has been in kind of a tough stretch lately, at least in terms of the quality of films that we're used to them putting out. They haven't had an original smash hit that's had staying power really since like Coco in 2017, which I loved, by the way. Great movie. I'm in love with the Coco. Which is partially why they're making sequels or spin-offs to legitimately every IP they have under their corporate umbrella. But I'm very happy to say that I thought Hoppers was a really fun original Pixar movie that shows that the animation studios still got it in their bag. It's funny, it's cute, it's got a good message, and it's an interesting original plot that's not just some recycled IP that's clearly a cash grab. The film is very much about community and having an appreciation not just for wildlife and your local ecosystem, but also for your fellow humans. I've never sounded more like an alien, by the way, than when I just said your fellow humans. Throughout the movie, Mabel is incredibly angry at Mayor Jerry for trying to put a highway through the local glade and disrupting the local wildlife, and she pretty much views him as being all bad. But through her Hopper experience living as a beaver amongst the other beavers and other wildlife, she realizes that sometimes people do bad things for reasons that they view as virtuous, and that doesn't necessarily make them inherently or entirely bad. She infiltrates the animal world by pretending to be a beaver, even though she's a human. So in some ways, she lies for her own personal, albeit altruistic reasons, and she kind of comes to the realization that not everything is completely black and white, and sometimes there's doing the wrong thing for the right reason. The film shows that people are nuanced and complex and often capable of doing the right thing if given the opportunity, which to me is far more of a reflection of reality than sort of the oversimplification you often see in movies like this where everyone is either viewed as good or evil. It's also, of course, all about animal and animal habitat conservation, which is just awesome to me because I love animals and because I think that's only becoming more and more important and more relevant as time goes on. I will say though, it's also a little bit frustrating to have Disney put out a film like this when just 4 months ago in December, they entered into a $1 billion contract with OpenAI, who is notoriously building massive AI data centers all across the country, which of course is disrupting animal habitats and even poisoning local water supplies. And look, I'm not expecting a company like Disney to be a leader in environmental conservation. It's mostly just like, dude, come on, man. You're gonna have a movie like this come out 3 months after you're doing something like that? Like, think about it, dude. Put your money where your mouth is. Like, do you really care or not? But I digress. The voice acting is wonderful, with some truly great performances all around from the stacked cast. But to me, Dave Franco really stole the show. He plays this chubby little caterpillar that's the obnoxious, bratty son of the insect queen, and he's seriously so funny. Like, I could not stop laughing at his line readings. I think while the animation is great, particularly the animation of the animals is fantastic. It's really, really phenomenal. There's something that Pixar has done where they've changed the way that they animate people and particularly their faces, where it just feels a little bit more flat than it used to. I don't know exactly what it is. Like, it's hard to put my finger on it, but I just don't really love the new direction that they've taken in that regard. And don't get me wrong, it's still phenomenal animation. Like, I'm for sure nitpicking. The hair is still unbelievably good and detailed, but there's just something about it. I don't know if it's just my personal preference, something about it that feels a little bit less interesting, a little bit less striking than maybe it used to be. There's a really great needle drop of Working for the Weekend that is super funny, but that also shows how surprisingly beautiful and complex beaver dams are. Now, it didn't have any original songs that, you're going to remember that are kind of integral to the movie. I think that you don't have to have that, but I do think that that helps kind of cement a lot of these Pixar movies as, all-time greats. Like You've Got a Friend in Me in Toy Story, or the entire soundtrack of Coco, like banger after banger. I know that's more of a musical movie, so it's a little different, but I will say that it was missing that component. Not that it had to have it, but something that I did just couldn't help but notice. There's also this really small, cute detail in the movie where the animal's eyes switch when Mabel's a human versus when she's a hopper. When she's a human, their eyes are really beady and tiny, and they just look like these cute little creatures that you, of course, can't understand. And then when Mabel's a hopper, their eyes get much bigger, they get much more anthropomorphic, and they turn into like these peers that you can understand. And again, it's this very small, subtle switch, but it's so perfect. It's such a great little detail that I just loved. This is a fantastic addition to Pixar's catalog of films that I would absolutely recommend to people because it's a truly original film with fantastic messaging that's focused on community and animal conservation. There's wonderful voice acting from the entirety of the cast, and it has such a wonderful depiction of the complexity of human nature. So go watch Hoppers. If you enjoyed this video and you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing, dude. Come on, it's so easy. Just subscribe. You get access to all my videos, you get them on your homepage, and you help me out a little bit. Go ahead and like the video, that also really helps. And if you'd like, leave a comment letting me know what you thought of this movie or what movie you think I should review next. I put out a movie review each week, so subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks, y'all.